All right, welcome to Boy Storm, episode 2. We did it,
baby.
We did it.
The boys went out into the world and worked the road and somehow returned and got here pretty much almost on time. Sorry I'm late.
No, you're good. You're good. I blame Kyler for you being late.
You should.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
Colonel.
The Colonel.
Colonel Kyler, baby.
Colonel Kyler, who had, one of his first rig road weekends.
It was a rig road weekend,
It
Rocky.
was a river road. We went out to North Carolina, South Carolina, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
The old classic
dude,
Carolinas to Michigan route.
Routed it perfectly. Carolinas to Michigan is so crazy. So you enjoyed it?
Oh, dude, it was so much fun. Shout out AJ Wilkerson. AJ rules.
Took you on the road. It was just you two?
It was me, him, and Sydney Stevens.
Okay.
I
saw her last night.
Sydney rules.
Yeah.
But dude, we did the Comedy Zones, the Milwaukee Improv, and then Crenton Brewery. It's a big brewery in Grand Rapids.
You saw the full spectrum of comedy zones.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of spectrum,
definitely a spectrum. It's for sure a spectrum this weekend, man.
The spectrum went to the spectrum of comedy zone. No, the Charlotte Club is amazing.
Yeah,
one of the best clubs in the country.
And then there's also a club in Greenville.
Yes.
Dude, I'll tell you, the Comedy Zones are fun. It's so funny though because there is a distinct difference.
Oh yeah.
In like the two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Comedy Zone, their business model is that any business can buy in and buy the rights to be a Comedy Zone and get the signage and get all the rights to be like, we're a Comedy Zone.
Which brings us to our first ad. If you want to be a Comedy Zone.
But there's no quality control.
None.
So there's like Comedy Zones in like the fucking broom closet of a bowling alley. And they're like, we're a comedy club. And they legally are.
Yeah.
There's
no top-down control. It's not in and out.
It's kind of fascinating. You're just like as good as you want it to be. So Charlotte ends up being one of the better clubs in the country, and then there are other ones that are not so bad.
Even the other one you went to, Greenville, is actually pretty decent. But there are a few out there where
you get
you're
to
like,
Greensboro.
Hey, I tell you, the Greenville show was so much fun.
Is it Port Charlotte? There's a Panama City one. There's one in Florida that's like, dude, I remember
make it quit.
I went, did it. They were like, dude, line dancing ended at 8, and the show started at 8:01. So, like, literally, you're going up as people are, like, clearing off from line dancing.
Way down yonder in the Chattahoochee.
And you're like, hey, what's up? And then I swear to God, after the show, the guy, he brings me into this green room, which is awful. It's not a good green room. And he goes, you see that couch right there? I'm sitting on the couch. I go, yeah. He goes, Gallagher got blown on that couch. I go, gross, dude. I don't want.
Great man, comedy legend.
Gallagher got blown.
Why did you tell me that?
That's so sick.
That is kind of hard to be on the same couch. That
kind of hard.
Gallagher got blown.
Kyler's impressed by it. Kyler's like, that actually is pretty cool.
I like Gallagher. You know, what can I say?
What's your favorite Gallagher? Black Gallagher?
No, you guys are the ones that put me on the Gallagher 2 and Black Gallagher. I just knew OG Gallagher.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about him selling the
Gallagher
rights
2
to his own shit.
Black Gallagher is really the one where you go, this is interesting.
Okay, so explain again what happened with Black Gallagher.
So Gallagher, I think, sold his act to his brother.
To Gallagher, too.
Gallagher.
I mean, that's how it went down.
But that's also not how brothers work.
Yeah, Gallagher, too.
You don't go, this is Lee, and then this is Lee,
and
too.
They weren't even twins.
Like, he doesn't just get a different name.
They kind of looked alike.
Yeah. And then they sold it to Black Gallagher. And what's crazy is, like, there had to be a moment. You know Gallagher's act. Regular white Gallagher's act was smashing a watermelon with a hammer. And there was a moment where he goes, would you like to buy this, Black Gallagher?
Yeah.
And there had to be some, like, unspoken tension. He's like, are you just trying to sell this to me because you're smashing a watermelon with a hammer? Like, there was.
But then he could be like, no, because I sold it to Gallagher, too.
Exactly. Or maybe,
white.
Let's be honest, maybe Black Gallagher tried to buy it.
Yeah.
So, it's also an option.
Maybe it makes more sense.
We should have a Gallagher eye on here.
What's the thing behind it? It's like, I know magicians sell tricks, right? I get that. But, like, if I just went on stage and hit a fucking watermelon with a hammer, I don't have to buy that.
No, you got to also go like,
Is that considered intellectual property?
Yeah.
That's a good. There's no way you got.
I've
like,
hit a
trademark
watermelon with a
on it.
hammer.
I don't think it's not patented, but if you go up
I
there.
think if you do an hour, like a full hour of what his act was, which there were some lines in there and everything, but of course every punchline was just him smashing a watermelon.
I bet you it ripped. The same way I bet I'm like very confident based on all the comics. I've met a lot of comics who I respect who are like, Carrot Top absolutely murdered.
Oh, I can't wait to see Carrot Top.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I like that you're like, I'm going this year.
I mean, he's the guy still has a residency out in Vegas. Like, he's seeable.
Oh, dude, when I used to open for Rodney Carrington, and he had his first time in Vegas was opening for Carrot Top, and he said,
That's so sick.
the curtain went up, caught the mic, and pulled it up, and then flopped it into the audience.
No
So
way.
he walks out, and he goes, I need that. I need that. He has to get the mic back from the audience.
They're ravage anyway.
And some lady's like, "You want the mic?" Like Wood was like messing with him, and he's like, I need the mic."
God, when the crowd goes wrong.
That's crazy.
We had a blast on our road antics down in Tulsa.
Oh, we did. We went with Rob Wentz.
Yes.
Shut up, Rob.
Rob had the
absolute
most fun.
madman.
Just truly, yeah.
But you were just talking about a crowd turning on you. It made me think of. We had a really good time.
We had a great time.
I wouldn't even go so far to say I had a good time on all my sets, minus the late show on Saturday.
Tulsa Looney Bin, so much fun.
We talked about that. I feel that too, man. We had a late Saturday that was like, I would have rather just not done that. Like, just because like they weren't as fun.
Dude, I told Connor, and I got Connor really bad in
I was
the green
crying.
room, like crying, laughing, and I was being so genuine. I'm sitting there after the show. I'm like, God, I'm like looking at my notebook, just like, Jesus, do I need to rework everything? And he's like, well, it wasn't that bad. And I go, no, man.
No, dude, you're telling me about the set.
I'm like, but there at the end, dude. But there at the end, like the last 10 minutes, there's a big part of the room that was like making fun of me, dude. They were like making fun of me, dude.
Dude, as a comic, I know that feeling. There's nothing darker.
Man, I was doing absolutely everything I could, and there was just like 35 or 40 people at the Late Show who were just like laughing at me.
Dude, like laughing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Just laughing
At me. I'd be like, well, God damn, okay. And then they'd all laugh. Like, there was a big part of the Late Show room on Saturday that was making fun of me.
Dude, the Late Show.
It was crazy.
For context,
I go, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Rob Wentz went up. Dude, they're making fun of me is the funniest thing I've
They
ever.
were, bro.
Hey, how was your set? They're making fun of me.
They were making fun of me towards the end.
Dude, here's Late Show Saturday. Rob Wentz goes up. He's the first guy through the wall. And, like, dude, the early show was so fun.
Everyone ripped.
We sold some tickets. It was fun. Early show, we were pumped, man. We were like, this is great. Late show, less people. And Rob goes up. And within, like, 4 minutes, you're like, oh, no, this is about to be a bloodbath.
This is going to be one of them ones.
And,
we're going to have to be in a knife fight.
And Rob is the king. Rob didn't, like, blink. He, kept selling his act. He wasn't like, oh, God. But he was just, he yells so much. And at one point, dude, he's doing a gay Trump impression. He's like, if Trump was gay. And he's doing it for like 2 minutes. It's completely unhinged. He's talking about a guy finishing on his face. It's crazy.
15 to 20% of the audience is loving it. The rest of them is like, oh, man.
Dude, it gets to the end. They laugh, and then it gets super quiet. And he goes, I have a TV. You guys watch TV?
Yeah, it's crazy.
We have, you know what? We'll put that on Patreon. If Rob's cool with it,
yeah,
we'll put that clip because it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It was incredible. Yo, yeah, because you took a video of it.
I was crying laughing because it's just, dude, it's this guy screaming as if he's a gay version of Donald Trump at the crowd. And then he goes, I watch TV. You guys watch TV?
I get beautiful
balls.
Bust a rope right over your face.
You sit on your beautiful balls. I mean, it's the funniest.
It's crazy.
Rob doing a Trump impression all week was making me just weep.
He was killing us.
French dip, gay sandwich, great country, gay sandwich. It was like insane.
Hate the French, love the dip.
What'd you guys do? Like you guys drove?
We drove.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do on the drive? Like, did you guys stop and do any fun activities?
We slept and pissed in the car.
Yeah, I slept and pissed.
A little bottle piss?
Yeah.
He didn't tell us.
Yeah, and they didn't know.
I gotta tell.
No, but
they
here's
didn't
my
know,
thing.
baby.
If he's not going to tell us, it shouldn't come up later on stage as the first thing he said.
Yeah.
It's actually
it
awesome
was.
that he was able to get away with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not a drop. Didn't
away
smell
with
it.
Like there's a payoff. I got away with it.
Dude, just filled up a Dasani and just put it in my backpack. just giggled all the way in the back. They were like, should we stop to pee? I was like, not me. It was being respectful, man.
We stopped, maybe 5 times. There were so many times you could have
We did stop a bunch.
Dude, sometimes I have a problem with peanut bottles. I got too much pee for the bottle.
Oh, yeah, often.
Often. What do you do if that happens?
You cut it off. Male Kegels.
Yeah.
You got to have that dick strength.
You take the head and you go,
No, hands free.
Oh, that's crazy. No.
Engage
I
the
got
core.
a zip tie I use.
Fucking, yeah. Yeah.
Tourniquet.
Yeah.
You put a tourniquet on your
There it is.
Oh, God.
Nah, dude, I just engage the core.
Well, this is your thing, right? You
I
piss in the car.
floor,
I'm so good at it.
Lee's
man.
actually, I'm not even kidding. I know a lot of comics who know Lee Kimbrell, and they go, "Oh, that guy pisses in the car." Like it's like a thing where you piss.
Well, I'm good about
and
it
you don't
now.
stop.
I'm good about it now. I used to be a fucking animal about it. We used
thing, dude.
no. For
Great
real.
comic, even better pisser in the car.
Oh yeah, there used to be a point in time where I was just so gross, and you could get in my car and there'd be a dozen
Piss
bottles
bottles?
of pee
Yeah.
in there. I'm talking hundreds of fluid ounces. I could get in a fender bender and drown.
How did Lee die?
If I died in a wreck and the cops saw my car back when it was filled with like a dozen to 15 bottles of water,
Yeah.
they'd be like, "I'm glad this man is dead.
They're trying to figure out what happened. They
This
go,
guy
I think
is a
someone,
freak."
I think someone pissed on this guy till he drowned.
Yeah, he drowned. He got in a wreck. They were
I
going
think
10 miles an hour.
The impact was secondary. He actually drowned in piss. That seems to be what killed
And
him.
then that's what caused him to
Yeah.
wreck.
100%.
There's an old homeless guy that used to stay off of Harding Pike, and he'd stand up there with a sign that said like "Aliens are the devil, Jesus is coming back." And like everyone, I would
That's a
go
good
and
point.
I'd
Damn,
go.
that's so funny. That's like exactly what Tucker Carlson thinks.
I pulled into the parking lot behind them, and I went and chatted with him. I wanted to pick his brain. Yeah, everyone deserves to be heard.
Well,
that guy was
that's
nuts.
not true.
No, that guy was nuts. But he gave me a pamphlet from the back of his van, and he had bottles. I mean, just fucking like all the seats in the back of his van were down, and it was just filled with piss.
Dude, when
it was crazy.
When I was in college, I
relate.
lived in a dorm in college, and this one guy moved out like 2 or 3 months into the semester because he was just like he was just one of those kids who got to college and like melted down. And so we're going to move his we had to move his bed out, and by the way, I never saw this guy with another human being. This was not a dating thing.
Yeah.
We go to his room, we lift up the mattress, and we're moving the bed frame, and there is I'm going to use this word. There was a mountain of used condoms under the bed.
Nice.
Just like it made a pile.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
A mountain.
Which first of all is psychotic on like 3 levels where you're like, hey man, you don't need to use protection to jerk off. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then second, throw it away.
He was just cranking them.
That's the only,
No way he
That's-
was using condoms to fucking beat it.
unless he was buying them online and putting them under his bed. I don't know what else he could have been doing.
Damn.
Were they tied up?
Yes
Was he
and
like
no.
tying them up like dime bags?
I mean, you're not going to believe this. I didn't really go through, like, is this tied up?
Ridiculous.
I feel like if I saw it,
Kylie would take photos.
Dude, that's like making me gag. That's so gross.
The piss bandit is upset by the
He's sterile, man.
Dude,
this guy's
Not
jerking
mine.
off into condoms.
condoms make your cock stink. Why would he just willingly put his dick?
Hold on, dude.
Honestly,
Hey,
we gotta have to stop
we're gonna
talking
go.
about it.
No, we're not.
I'm gonna fucking
We're gonna
throw
have,
up.
We're gonna have to clip it and put it in the intro.
No, I'm gonna.
Tyler's saying condoms make your cock stink.
They do, man.
They do. Sometimes you ever sometimes you hook up with a girl and then you go down there and you go, oh, this is a condom. This smells bad.
Yeah, it's just like it doesn't smell nice.
It's the smell of no trust. I know I say that on stage, but it really is. It's a smell where you're like,
I've got a buddy back home in Cincinnati who I'm not even gonna say his name, but when he
it's
was
Ree Rimbrel.
But when he was like a 27-year-old man, he was, or maybe it was younger than that. He was a virgin at the time. It did take.
By the way, I know who this is right away.
Took a second for him to get off the starting gate, but he genuinely asked a couple older Cincinnati comedians as if you put your balls in the condom. Just
guy
like
was a virgin?
one unit. Getting the balls up in there.
Dude, putting your balls in the condom and then trying to have sex with a girl would be the most amazing interaction.
Just raw dogging her.
What are you doing?
You said you were wearing a condom. I am.
He's got him on 10 of his fingers like Frito chips. He's just going, I'm wearing a condom.
I swear I am. Dude, I've got a crazy story out of the Little Rock Looney Bin.
Oh, boy. Boy, do you.
Well, I drove to the Little Rock Looney Bin on Wednesday. Drove back Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Hung out all day Thursday. And then we hung out as a unit at 7.
Yeah, we picked him up like 7 a.m. and rolled out to Tulsa. Just watching the country get uglier, by the way.
Yeah, my God in
You just
heaven.
go, what the hell?
How long of a drive was that?
Little Rock is 5 on the dick. And
Yeah,
then
Little
drove-
Rock sucked. Driving to
Yeah.
Little Rock sucked.
That's one of the
Yes.
first. I took Kyler I go, hey, we're going to drive to Little Rock tonight, and then right back. And I was like, it was kind of a test of like, does this guy want to go
for
do
sure.
comedy?
And I goddamn I did it.
Yeah.
It sucked. Dude.
Yeah,
It
it's
does
very ugly, very boring. But this is a story that the club told me. It just happened a couple weeks ago. There's a comic there, black guy, about 150 people in the room, about 90% black audience. And some of them are old heads. And typically speaking, older black people don't like the N-word being said.
Oh, yeah.
So there was this guy up on stage. Yeah, it's a true
Kyler
story.
goes, tell me about it.
And
I've lost some friends.
so there was this guy up on stage, Ryan Davis. Ryan
Yeah.
Ha-Ha Davis.
Oh, haha, David.
Ha-Ha Davis.
Yeah.
And he's like up there into his set. We're talking 25, half hour in. Ginning, going well. And he's saying the N-word. And then he says something to the old heads. He's like, yo, I just have to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm not saying the N-word to like be disrespectful. I'll try to say it less. But he's like, I don't know what to say. I'm a young guy. I like saying the N-word. And then from the back of the room, in a room of like 120 plus all black people, this little old white lady just goes, I like to say the N-word too, except she doesn't say N-word. She says, I like to say too.
Good Lord.
And it was, yeah, dude.
That's also so on brand for that club, dude. Like,
But I was asking the staff because I was fascinated. I was like, so she was at the show's going well. I was like, I know this sounds stupid to some, but like, was it nefarious? Was it like, yeah, I like to say like hard R, or was she like in the moment and was like, yeah, I like to say it too. Why do you think I'm here in a room full of all black people? I'm not even scared. I like you, you know? So she was like she just had a bad moment.
what'd they do?
And, a server there,
Yeah.
God love her heart, an angel, a black server,
Yeah.
came over to this woman and was
And
like,
shielded her with Captain America's shield.
dude, more or less, was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I don't think that you were being hateful, but we gotta get you out of here.
Yeah.
And just like grabbed her and like got her the fuck out.
That's so
of there.
funny to heckle the point where they go, for your own safety.
Yeah, because people were like, yo, what the hell? Like it could have ended up bad.
Dude, that's
It could have ended up so bad.
the Tulsa Looney Bin. This guy bought it. Mason's the man.
Changed it completely.
Made it awesome. It's like
It's a legitimate club.
the Looney Bins had a crazy, horrible legacy a lot of the time. I had a lot of great times there, but there was some stuff wrong with it, and he's changed that one. It's
yeah.
awesome. The Little Rock Looney Bin is still one of the craziest places I've ever been, dude. My
Wild
first
West,
time,
It's
bro.
so much fun.
my
Wild
first
West.
time hosting there. It's Wednesday to Sunday,
This
which
is
is like
nuts.
criminal. And I'm making literally like $40 a show.
Less.
I'm making
Wednesday, Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday,
Saturday,
and
one
a
Sunday, and I'm getting $200 for the whole week.
7 shows.
Seven shows.
$200.
You're staying in this condo. When you get there, I was like 25, and they go, "No girls in the condo." And I go, "What do you enforce that rule, guy who wouldn't even find me if this building caught on fire?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And also, I was like, "Don't worry, I'm not getting any pussy. I'm hosting at the Looney Bin."
That's not a worry.
So I'm hosting there. The shows are horrible. Like dude, just I'm bombing. Everybody's bombing. The headliner's bombing. It's just a nightmare. And they tell me, they go, police the room, and I'm like, new. I don't know anything. I'm hosting. Dating's crazy. And I see in the corner. By the way, there's no candles on any of these tables, but I see a guy light a napkin on fire. He's holding from the top. He's
like
holding
a full
it,
pyro.
and there's just a burning napkin. And I go, okay, I think we got to get this guy out of here. And I swear to God, from the back of the room, the manager goes, he's a good guy. Just completely neuters me. And they just let him stay. They go, he puts it out, and then they just let a guy who lit a napkin on fire stay. And then I got to go back to being like, my girlfriend's great. Like, it was the worst experience.
I loved it.
Brutal.
My first experience was with you and Rocky at the little. I didn't really know much about hosting.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't know what to expect.
Oh dude, was this where you missed the intro, or was that Justin?
No, no, I didn't say your name at all.
The guy Scritch,
Yeah, I went up there. So we walked in, and the guy goes, he asked all of us, he goes, what do you want me to say when I bring you up, and what do you want to play?
Dude, but he did it like while he was on his phone looking out the window. Like no one is, like there was no run of show. He was like, what y'all want me to say? We were like,
yeah.
You work here?
So, yeah, I mean, he was cool. He was a cool dude. And
he would have been mad at your show.
Yeah.
So when he brought me up, and then when I got done, and it wasn't the funnest. When I got done, I was supposed to bring up Connor. Mm-hmm. Well, as I'm talking to try and bring up Connor, the DJ looks at me, does this, and starts scratching shit. He goes, and it's like coming through my mic, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I goes, I'm Kyler Finney, and I walk off, and then Connor walks up and goes, what the fuck?
Dude, here's how I remember it. Kyler's doing it. Kyler's ramping up. There's no more clear what he's about to do. Yeah. All right, guys, you've been fun. Your next guy. And as he says, like, your next guy or something, the guy goes, like, starts. It sounds like it's feedbacking. It's crazy. And Kyler stops and looks at him, and then the guy goes, just throws his hands up like I didn't do anything. Yeah. And Kyler goes, what the fuck?
And then just walks off.
Goes, I'm Kyler Finney. And in that stage, like, to walk off, you just walk into the audience.
Yeah.
Which is my other dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just walk to the back.
Into no green room.
Just walk to the back.
The Comedy Zone Charlotte, I went once to do this thing called the Comedy Battle, which is like, they're like, come do 5 minutes, and if you win, don't worry, you won't. So you go and you do whatever, and I get there and I do 5 minutes, and like it's whatever. And then this lady comes in, she's all like flustered, she's in the back, and she goes, how many people have been up? And I was like, just 2. And she goes, oh, thank God, I'm supposed to judge this thing. So just fully, I drove 8 hours, no one saw my set. And then I got to stick around to the end because I was still like new in comedy. I was like, well, you got to,
don't want to be rude.
Don't want to be rude in this industry that doesn't care about literally anything. And so I stick around. This guy goes up, and when he goes up, there's like a huge pop, which is weird because it's like this horrible show. And he's brought like 50 people, and he goes up, and there's a clock behind so you can see how long everyone knows how long you've left. And it says 4 minutes, and maybe 10 seconds in, his mic comes unplugged, and he doesn't know how to put it back in. So he goes from fully everyone can hear him to like, and then I'm in the back being like, plug it in. He's not doing it. And he just starts to, you can tell he's freaking out. And he just goes and walks off the front of the stage into the audience. And then, I swear to God, up the stairs and left the building.
Let's go.
He brought 50 people and then was like, nah, and just walked off.
Boy.
I'm pretty sure he's dead by now, but I think about him every day.
God, comedy competitions. That was the come up.
Not even go back the way you came. Walk off the front of the stage.
Never to do it again.
Never.
Ever.
Dude, my first open mic.
Yeah.
There was a guy in a red flannel, and he went up there, and he did like 8 minutes. We were supposed to do 5.
Yeah.
And it was really, really bad. His girlfriend was there. He jumped off the front of the stage and ran, like, just set the mic down on the stool, jumped off the front of the stage, and ran outside.
Booked it.
And then his girlfriend left like 6 minutes later.
Dude,
she was like on his phone
mics.
and just on her phone, and she got up and just like walked out.
She's like, as soon as I send this breakup text, I'm leaving.
Yeah, dude.
As soon as I dump this guy.
The open mic game is so brutal.
Do you remember your first time? I thought I was going to throw up my first time.
Yeah. I remember my first time was February 2nd, 2016.
February 10th, brother.
Yeah, we're close.
Dang.
I'm coming up on 9 years.
Like, no, that's not right.
I'm coming up on 9.
Wow.
Let's go. Boys.
Yeah, I must be. I started 2016, so it's 8 or 9, something like that. Yeah.
February 2nd, I I did comedy off Broadway in Lexington.
Which rips. That club rips.
The luckiest man in the world, dude.
Yeah.
I'm born in Lexington, Kentucky, home to like actually one of the best independently owned clubs in the country.
Yeah, to be in like a relatively small like college town and have
just
a
by
sick club.
itself and just have a sick club that's been open for 30 plus years and like it's just no food.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's a very serendipitous thing. And like it was even like that anyway. I was living in Cincy at the time. I was writing out. I wanted to do stand-up but didn't know how.
Yeah.
And then I walked in and they had a piece of junk mail on their kitchen table for Comedy Off Broadway, just like an old pamphlet. It was like a scene from a movie. And I opened it up and in the middle panel was just like the big, like, big red. Yeah, exactly. Like spiky thing. February 2nd, comedy open mic. And I just called the number and got signed up and drove down on a Tuesday. I was a teacher. I had to work the next day.
Oh, that's crazy.
I had to work the next day in Cincinnati.
Damn.
And I didn't.
My first time was in Toronto at a bar called the Ossington. And I just remember.
The Ossington.
I was up in Toronto and I had what I thought was a 5-minute fart story. And it turns out it was like a 12-second fart story.
A lie.
Truly.
Yeah.
Like, I said it, and then they all went. And I was like, oh, no. Like, just freaking out. And then I spent, like, a week just wanting to die. And then I went back and did it again and got some laughs.
Yeah.
And was like, oh. But if I had bombed a second time, I think I would have shot myself.
Maybe.
It was pretty crazy.
My first time went pretty good, but it was kind of fool's gold because I brought out a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to do 3 minutes. I did 5, ended up getting played off stage. They'll just start playing music during your set. I still have a video of it, and I was just like, oh, wait, what?
Oh, what?
Huh? I'm just like screaming over Bruce Springsteen trying to get my jokes in.
I'll show you who's the boss.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
No, my first time was in Murfreesboro. I just decided that I wanted to like finally get into it. I'd wanted to do it for a long time. But I was like, I'm going to figure it out, I guess.
Today's the day.
And in a Murfreesboro Facebook group, comic posted that he was doing a new mic in Murfreesboro. And I was like, dude, fucking this is it, man. So I went and did it. And it was funny, man, because everyone to me that was there was like a god.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's the funniest, like, change in your head when you go, that guy's really good. And then, like, 2 years later, you're like, that guy's going to go to prison. Like, that guy's terrible at comedy and a lunatic. But when you start, you're like, that guy's the king.
You've been doing it for 2 years? Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. And they're like, yeah, we do this every night in Nashville. I'm like, fucking every night?
You're like, all the way up in Nashville? It's 30 minutes away.
I'm like, dude, I've been fucking waiting every Friday. So, like, I did it for like 2 weeks. And then finally, Ralphie Rand.
I love Ralphie.
Ralphie rules. He came up and was like, man, you got to go to Nashville. You're pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, where do I go? So then we went to Cafe Coco after that mic on a Friday. And then from there, every night. I just literally every night, every night.
It's so funny how much it just consumes you.
It has to. Yeah.
Literally it went from doing it once a week to doing it 2 or 3 times a night, every night, as much as I could.
I think it has to because it's such a crazy, when you get there and you go like, how the fuck does this lead to a career?
Right.
Like you just look at it and you go like, hold on, I show up to this bar and like piss off these people sitting here, and then 20 years later I like have an LLC. Like, what are you talking about?
I know it does. It's insane that it works out.
You just got to be
get all these buddies and all these friends.
Yeah.
And then you've got the people who it bites. They get they get bit with it. They get the bug, and it's like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you go, no, not you.
I know a guy in Cincinnati, maybe the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he is open mic comedy.
I'll put our worst against your worst.
Maybe the worst I've ever witnessed.
I will tell you this: our worst is worse. I'll put our worst against anybody.
Oh yeah, for sure. I believe that.
We have some of the worst comics.
This guy
you've ever met.
No, this motherfucker, and I will not say his name. It would just be too mean. But
also, he knows,
brother. No, he doesn't. He probably doesn't know what a podcast is. He has been divorced not once but twice.
We're narrowing it down.
Pretty much over open mic comedy.
She's like, you have to stop doing this to yourself.
Yeah. Or just like, dude,
me.
Quit leaving the children at home.
Oh, yeah.
To go and regurgitate the same 5 minutes that you have been for the last 8 years.
No, people get bit by the bug where you go like,
dark.
This is proof that God is dead. Like
it's
where
dark.
You go, hey, I'm a 38-year-old dad. I'm living right on the razor's edge. I could probably turn things around if I really focused. What am I going to focus on? Open mic. You go, don't do that. That's crazy.
Speak truth to power.
And they're in every city. That's what's crazy. The more you'd go like to scenes, you go like, oh, that's their version of this guy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the same guy everywhere.
It's all archetypes.
Yeah.
It's always, but at the same time, it's like it is like kind of sad. Like there is like some dark sides to that.
Oh yeah.
Like seeing some of the people that like you're like, hey man, fucking, you ever thought about getting a salary job?
Yeah.
Or having any other social.
But it's also like, imagine putting something, you put 6 years, 7 years into something, and it's like, it is so finite that fucking, like Theo 3 years ago, to what he's doing now, they're like, fucking, if I just do one more year, it'll have, it's like.
Dude, you start meeting like giant comics who will tell you, they'll be like, yeah, don't quit because, at year 8, I was living under a railroad car, and then at year 9, I bought a palace. And you're like, all right, man, as inspiring as that is, it's also terrifying because you're like sitting there being like, where am I on this slot machine? Like, if I just keep pulling this lever, am I going to hit something, or am I going to be the person who's like, you just have that. I've had a lot of like, you're hungover in a hotel and you're like, I'm that guy.
Yeah,
I'm the guy everyone thinks is crazy. Like,
they're making fun of me.
Yeah, they're making fun of me, man. That's not what anyone wants.
Making fun of me is the ice. God, it was so fun.
It's also,
no, but I know the feeling, dude.
We all know the feeling. It's not. It was just
Yeah.
the way he said it. Because you had a perfectly decent set. You were a pro. You handled them. You did all this stuff.
Oh yeah, it was just not.
It was
like
just
there was
so funny.
in a comedy career. There's like a quota.
Yeah.
That you have to reach, of like walking up there and having to
just eating it.
Do 35 minutes in like an impossible spot.
Dude, I did a show on my 25th.
You just have to do it.
That's dude. Just the thought of doing 35 minutes. Like right now, I've got a solid 20, 25. Like I can get away with it. 35, 45 an hour. Fuck it, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, and it was like actually hostile.
Yeah, wow.
It was actually hostile. By the time I went up, dude, I looked out. I got like check drop too. I looked out 10 minutes into this set and just saw the tops of about 15 people's heads.
We were switching.
They were just down there doing. It was nuts.
Yeah, we were switching off. We're co-headliner. We're switching off who goes last, and that was the tough hand because I already have been up there for 35 doing all the tricks to survive and
they were like, woohoo.
Well, there was a lady there was a shout out to Katie in the audience, this lesbian lady who no matter what you said would just scream out with this voice where it's like, hey, have you been drinking gas your whole life? Like, why do you sound like
sounded like
this?
Fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And then, dude, the classic comedy thing of like, well, on stage you're like, shut the fuck up, like getting annoyed. I'm like messing with her, and then you walk off stage. I'm like making fun of her, being like, shut up, lady. And then you walk off stage, and they like want to dap you up, and they're like, I was trying to help you. And then after the show, complete sweetheart. She was a very nice person. She was cool, and it's just one of those things where you're like, why do you have to do this?
And we made the observation, and it was true. After one of those like knife fight bloodbath shows, merch sells like crazy.
Oh yeah.
I sold like $65, $70 in just stickers.
Yeah.
People coming up and being like, hey, man, proud of you.
Dude, one guy handed Lee 5 coins.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I go, oh, Lee's about to spit in this guy's face.
Yeah,
he handed him quarters.
He came up and like dropped it into my hand. They were 5 like Sacagawee-wees.
They were dull. They were cool.
If it had been 75 cents, I would have fucking headbutted him.
Dude, I've been given change, and I also, you know how I used to sell those stickers that say honk if you love cock?
Yeah.
This one guy comes up and buys one, and he goes, watch this. And I'm like, whatever. You're just like numb after the show. You're like, I just want to go home. And he's got a honk if you love cock sticker, and he peels it off so it's ready to stick. And then he goes, hey, baby. And his girlfriend walks over. I swear to God, his girlfriend is pregnant. And he slaps it on her forehead. He slapped a honk if you love cock sticker on his girlfriend's forehead. And she goes, what the? She's like pissed. And then, dude, I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, right. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Like, and you don't know what to do because you're like, hey, man, thanks for the $10. But also, like, you want to tell the lady to, like, be like, hey, maybe, well, you're already pregnant. I guess just marry.
Sorry,
like,
never mind. Just grin and bear it, sister.
It was crazy.
Just get through this shit. God,
Yeah,
that's
dude.
crazy.
I think that's a great bit, actually. I think that guy's a comedic genius.
You guys share a lot of views on what you should do. You go, put a sticker on his head. I will say this. If she hadn't been right there, if I had just seen a video of it, it was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
You think you bought it
crazy.
from Gallagher? You bought that bit?
He definitely bought that bit. The slap a sticker on your girlfriend's head bit.
Pregnant girl.
That's a bit as old as time.
Yeah.
The first when they invented
Striking your pregnant
stickers,
girl.
when they invented stickers, within a day, a guy was like, "I'm gonna stick this on my girlfriend's head,"
Yeah.
which is weird because stickers are like a girl thing. That's theirs. That's them.
What do you think the first sticker was?
First sticker?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
was the first sticker?
Like a peace sign?
Or like,
If Kyler had a solo podcast, this is what it would be. What was the first sticker?
let's say, who woke up one day and was like, dude, I got to fucking put this smiley face on a adhesive back. It's like, what was the first sticker?
I like that you think we made adhesive and all that shit before we got stickers. Like, I mean, I think at some level there must have been stickers throughout time, right? You gotta you make clay and you slap it on your girlfriend's head
Yeah, most certainly.
in the
Something
Nile
like that.
Delta, right?
Somewhere down there.
Have you ever put a sticker on your girlfriend's head? I never have.
I probably. Dude, let me tell you something. I do so much dumb shit to my girlfriend, man.
Yeah, your girlfriend is like living in. She basically lives on the set of like Jackass.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. You know what I was thinking about? You ever
Yeah.
think about this? I had a weird dream that made me think about this. If Ashton Kutcher, back in when Punk'd was going on, if he'd been on like a plane that was hijacked,
Oh, yeah. No one would believe it.
he goes, the plane is being hijacked, and everyone can just see Ashton Kutcher. They're like, shut the fuck. We're not. He's like, no, seriously, guys, I'm not in on this one. And they're like just ignoring the hijackers because Ashton Kutcher's on it.
Yeah. You're just Dak Shepard in a beard.
Dude, they probably do that modern day with John Quinones from What Would You Do?
They do that?
Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, dude. So you ever seen the
Is
show?
the show called What Would You Do?
Yeah, it says What Would You Do? It goes in like public places, like a coffee shop, and like a dad, like a coffee shop. All these kids are dressed as baseball players, and the dad's like the coach, and he's like buying stuff for all the kids, but not his son because he did bad at the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then like random people would be like, "Hey man, buy the kid a cookie."
Yeah.
And then John Quinones comes out and goes, "You're a good person.
Yeah.
This is what would you do?" And then if someone doesn't say anything, he'll come out and be like, "Why didn't you say anything?"
Oh,
Well,
man.
who is not saying anything and then signing the TV release?
Right.
Who goes,
Yeah.
I'm a piece of
That's-
shit.
I've always thought that.
And it's fine.
We caught you being a dickhead.
Nope.
Sign here if I can put it on
That's
TV.
like if someone who's like, oh, I'm a bad person, but I want to be on TV. And you go, yeah, that tracks.
They do a lot of like really crazy scenarios sometimes. Like a special needs guy ordering at a restaurant by himself, and the waitress is like, "Come on, dummy, talk faster." You know what I mean?
All right, cool. That'll be $1,000.
Dude, it's fucked up. It's like a Down syndrome actor, and this waitress is like bullying him, and then like
Wait, hold on. This is an important point. Actor?
oh yeah, at the end he's like, "I had a lot of fun."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, he's like sentient.
He's
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. He really does have Down syndrome, but he's an actor.
Yes.
That's a tricky needle to thread.
Shout
Yeah,
out,
no shit.
shout
You
out
go,
Tanner
"Hey, man."
Hutchinson.
Hey man, it
Yeah.
seems like you can kind of control this.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Oh, boy.
I feel
It's
weird.
a bad title for a movie about a guy with Down syndrome. You're like,
Yeah.
what does he eat it?
Yeah.
But it does.
Peanut Butter Falcon. It's his pet.
It's about a Down syndrome guy who eats a rare bird, and then the trial that comes from him eating. I thought it was peanut butter, but he actually ate a falcon.
Have you guys ever seen Upside Down
Hell yeah.
on YouTube?
Yeah.
You
No.
seen it? It's like a short movie, it's like a short film, I guess,
Yeah.
about
An expose.
Him organically discovering the term short film, and he goes, "What would you call a film that is?"
It's a video. I mean,
it's
fucking
a small movie.
a small movie. But it's about like a whole society where everyone has Down syndrome, and then this family, they have Down syndrome, has like a normal kid,
Yeah.
and he becomes like the
king?
smartest guy in the
king?
fucking land, dude. He's like,
Dude, no, I haven't seen
there's
that.
a scene where like all the kids' shoes are like tied together. and he like unties all of them, and they're all like, I don't know.
You're the president.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
It's really good though.
That fucking rules.
That's dude. I always think that. Also, I love the idea that people just think Down syndrome people are tying their shoes together. I don't think they are. I don't really know a lot of them, but I don't think that's
Dude,
right.
they're not wearing shoes with laces.
yeah, they're crowed up.
It's 2024, man.
Yeah.
They slip on, they're crowed up. Dude.
They crowed to the
We're going
toe.
to the shoe store.
They got
or as I
Crocs.
call it the bowling alley.
Dude, I've got a story about what would you do? Wrong place, wrong time. I was at the gym. This was several years ago. I was at the gym working out. Lady on a Stairmaster.
Yeah.
Very attractive woman on a Stairmaster. And there's like 5 or 6 empty Stairmasters on either side of her. And then just this weird old guy comes and gets on the Stairmaster directly next to her. And is not even doing it. Like, this motherfucker just walked up to the top of the Stairmaster and was more or less just hitting her with. Just kind of looking at her, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of being weird. And the girl's body language was like, kind of rolling her eyes, but just kind of ignoring him. And he'd take out a headphone and talk to her, and she'd take out a headphone and be like, yeah. And then it went on for a while. To the point where I just walked up to the guy and I was like, hey, man. I was like, what? Why don't at least turn on the machine?
Yeah. do something.
At least turn on the Stairmaster so it looks like you're working out. And even better, maybe go use that one like down there.
I'm picturing
leave her alone.
He's just standing at the top of the stairs in like short shorts and is visibly hard. Like that.
Well,
it
he's
sounds
not
horrifying.
visibly hard, but everything there pretty spot on.
Yeah.
He's trying to get there.
He's trying to be
crazy.
hard. And just like a bad look. So I go up. Nothing like explosive or anything. I'm just like, hey, man, leave her alone. Why don't you go down there? I was like, you're not even using the machine.
Yeah.
This guy blows the fuck up. It was his daughter.
Nuh-uh.
But I was.
You go, I'm sorry, sir. You got a hot-ass daughter.
Well, no, I felt vindicated because even if it was the father of this chick, he was a creep. Because in front of her, he was just like, oh, yeah, look at you. Aren't you so cool? You trying to fuck my daughter?
Yeah.
He's like, is this what you do to try to fuck women? Is like make other guys look like idiots? I was like, well, you're being weird right now. He's like, oh, do you want to fuck my daughter? I was like, you're gross.
Yeah, buddy. I do want to fuck your daughter.
Yeah.
But
that's not what this is about.
Yeah, it's like any decent father would have been like, oh, buddy, that's uncomfortable. But no, I'm good. Appreciate it, though. Thanks for looking out.
All good.
This
bro.
is my daughter with this fat ass.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
isn't a song I want.
Yeah.
This is my daughter's fat ass.
This is genetics plus Stairmaster.
You should see her mother's fat ass.
Yeah, that was so demoralizing.
You should see your mother's fat ass.
Yeah,
It's
see,
very funny.
imagine after that, John Quinones comes out, microphone in your face, and it's like, why'd you do what you did?
Yeah, John Quinones. I can't picture him in my mind's eye.
No, he keeps saying it like Bill Gates.
Yeah, John Quinones.
Mr. Quinones.
Hey, we're going to put a picture of John Quinones up right here. He looks like Mr. Potato Head.
John Quinones.
The only thing I have that's like one of those like, heightened social situations where you're like, I'm doing it, and you do something crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you, on a Southwest flight, which is just
on a flight,
seat
so
yourself.
contained, yeah.
I've probably had 7 or 8 interactions in my life where I'm like getting yelled at by a lady and kind of being like, yeah, but screw you.
Yeah.
And they're all on flights.
Yeah.
Dude, the other day we were getting off this flight and these ladies start coming up. And so they're trying to get to the front. They were sitting in the back and they just get up and start going. And just like, I was just like, is that how you think it works? Is that what we're doing? Is that how we think it works? You think you should get up there first? Like, just went fully crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone on you can just watch everyone on the airplane be like, Jesus, but also, like they're pumped, but also they're like, this is crazy.
Yes.
And then, dude, people saving seats. That's the closest I get to being like an avenging superhero. I'm like, you cannot save seats. I will be sitting there. And then you just sit next to someone who hates you.
Hates you for 2 hours.
2 hours. And it's awesome. It's the only time I'm like, I'm on the right side of history.
You're alive.
This person sucks. You're the reason everything breaks down in society because you won't. And then, dude, here's the funny part. Our buddy Justin Wagner, who's handsome and has been handsome his whole life and doesn't realize that it's affecting his brain because he just does shit all the time. He just tries to get away with shit all the time.
Yeah.
You each buy a candy bar. He goes, come on, give me half of your candy bar. I should get that. And you go, why the fuck would you? It's crazy. So we're at because he's just been handsome his whole life. So, dude, we're at the airport. It's the first time I've ever flown with him. everything that I have been in a fight with a stranger about, he suggests we do.
Yeah.
He goes, just bored with the A group. I go, don't do that. That's great. He goes, just let's just start walking now. Just cut that. Just do that.
Just get up.
Just
man.
like completely take advantage of the system and see if anyone will do anything. And I'm like, in a different universe, we would be yelling at each other. This is crazy. It was the funniest moment. I was like, you're the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I can't be that way on planes because like everything I do on a plane is like
an event.
Yeah. I'm like a breeze blowing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
dude.
Like,
They tell the captain what you're doing. He's crossing his arm right now.
Dude.
Adjust the flight plan. He's crossing his arm right
everything
now.
everything I do, someone's like just watching me out the corner of their eye to like see if like
Well,
I felt bad.
like,
There was this guy on the first flight.
I mean, if you're in the middle seat, what do people even do?
Also, you're dressed up like corn.
Yeah.
They think you're a big one.
People think,
They go, "Where's his handler?"
dude, I swear to God.
You get on the thing dressed like a tomato, and you're like, "Where do I sit?" Like it's not their fault. They're judging you.
Dude, I looked yesterday when we flew from Chicago. It was the only time I felt like a giant retard, okay? Because I'm in a tiger shirt. I'm in pajama shorts. I've got I've got on cloud shoes, but because I'm so fat, I do this in my shoes.
Yeah.
And
I've got
a heavy, super heavy. I just bought denim jacket on.
Oh yeah.
And headphones around my neck, my hat's on backwards like this, and I'm walking around the airport like, being
Slappy.
myself.
Yeah.
So people are like, "Oh, dude," people are looking at me like I'm a real retard, man.
Yeah. He's
Stolen
It
valor.
was crazy on Veterans Day. Yeah,
Stolen valor on Veterans Day, walking around.
dude,
Special.
it was
awesome.
But I give into that. Like I like to fuck with people. Like when we were at the store, I walk around and talk like this and act like I am special because it's like people, they don't know what the fuck to do. Like no one's gonna be like, "Hey man,
What would you do with Junkie and Yoda?
They're not
one's
going to
gonna be like-
confront you on a hunch.
Yeah, they're not gonna be like,
I get the feeling this guy's not really. Hey, you're doing pretty good, but I'm not buying it. That's not what are you crazy.
Are you pulling my leg?
"Hey man, are you faking?" And that's what's fun about it, dude. Also, I like to lie. I've realized I like to lie to people in the airports, like in the line to TSA.
Dude, tell him what you did at TSA. You're
Oh,
telling me before the pod like it wasn't insane.
they had these really cool holographic guns. It was like a sign. It was like a gun. It was like no guns past this point, and I was like, "Oh shit! I left my gun in my bag."
God.
And it wasn't as funny as I thought it was gonna be.
Fully in TSA.
But the people around me, this one lady was like, "Well, that's not that funny," and the guy was like, "I'd have made the same joke." We fist bumped, and then everybody was like, "Okay, it is kind of a good joke."
Yeah.
So
I sold it for him.
he helped me slam dunked a bit.
Yeah.
But no, I lied to this lady. She was like, "Where you going?" I was like, "I'm going to Albuquerque. My mom just recently died of cancer."
Who'd you say that to?
Some
Just
old-
a random lady?
Some old lady. She was like, "I'm going to New York. Where are you going?" I was like, "Oh, I'm going to Albuquerque."
My mother just
Yeah.
recently passed.
And
Showed
then
her to try and
I
make
was
a
like,
human
I was
connection.
like, "Hey, but I bet New York will be fun." What's like?
God.
That's not a real human connection because
Not when you're doing it.
you don't care. It's like we're just in the same TSA line together. But imagine if I said it to a guy who's like, "Brother, I think God put us here."
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to Albuquerque too.
Dude, I've had a few of those. You're like, you talk to the guy next to you because you're trying to be social, and then like within 8 seconds, he's saying an opinion 10% of the population holds.
Yeah.
So loud.
Yeah.
He's like, the number. I'm just saying. Listen, it definitely was a lot of people, but the numbers, I don't. And you're like, all right. I don't know about that, dude. I just kind of want to go to Fresno. I don't really want to debate how many people died in this war. Like it's always that guy. He just
Right.
wants to talk to you about whatever, and you're like, all right.
Then he wants to sit
right.
next to you on the plane and fucking, talk about Trump.
Dude, or they'll be like, you do comedy? And I'll be like, yeah, I do comedy. They'll be like, do you like this guy? And then they'll just like start badly reciting jokes that like you cannot tell anymore. And I'll be like, all right, man, I do like that guy, but I like him quietly. All right? I don't like him on a flight in the middle of the day.
When we were leaving Atlanta we were flying from Atlanta to Chicago.
Great experience.
There was this guy, sweet guy, man. I hope he's okay. Sitting crisscross applesauce, reading the Bible with flowers. Sweetest guy.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
turns around, big smile, and he goes, "I'm going to Chicago for a date." where are you going?
Oh, no.
And I said, I'm going to Chicago for a convention. He goes, oh, what kind of convention? I was like, well, I'm in the dog toy industry. And
just lying.
I was like,
crazy.
I said, I'm in the dog toy industry. He's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, well, we make toys like specifically for breeding. And then he's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, it's like,
dildos.
I was like, it's like, the dog form of like collecting samples so that we can breed the dogs and stuff. And he starts, it's like, I'm saying dog sex toys. And I'm like, yeah, it's innovative technology. I'm just being a piece of shit. And he just goes, okay. And he goes right back to read his Bible and gets up and walks away.
Oh, buddy.
He goes, Dog Satan is over there. I got to get out of here.
I'm going to Chicago for a date.
That's a bad sign. You're flying for a date reading the Bible?
That's tough.
Dude, he's flying for some pussy. He's not flying for a date, brother.
He's dead.
He's made the connection. He's like, okay, I'm going to get here and we're fucking, right? That's how this works.
That's true.
Yeah.
Have you ever flown anywhere to sleep with someone?
No. What am I, a fucking pussy?
Amen to that.
Brother, I'll find it close by or I'll get it from Jill, brother.
Yeah. Amen. Never have gotten on a plane.
You've never been like, I'm going to X city to hang out with this person whose apartment I'm also staying at.
Yeah, I have, but never via airplane. It's
never
always
via airplane.
been like a close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough adventure.
I got a hard time buying appetizers for pussy. You think I'm going to get on a fucking plane?
Yeah.
Kyler's two natural instincts are fighting. He's like, well, I do want to buy appetizers, but I refuse to spoil this woman.
Yeah. Of course I want apps for the table.
When an immovable object meets an unstoppable force.
Captain Colonel.
Have you traversed the world?
Yeah,
for
I was
pussy?
in Mongolia recently. And then where else did I go? Madagascar. I went to Madagascar. For pussy.
Have you gotten on an airplane for some pussy?
I went to years and years ago. I went to San Francisco to do comedy, but not at the clubs weren't like, come out here. I just was like, I'll set up a run, and then I went out and there was a girl there, and I was like, this. I mean, in my head, in my honest head, the goal was like, the shows will be whatever. And
sure. But I want to bet this dame.
Well, I want to see what happens, and if I can.
True gentleman.
And then, dude, I remember doing a Don't Tell out in San Francisco in an art gallery. And I was like, oh, San Francisco, it's just people just say it's dangerous, but it's actually not. And then a guy started banging on the glass so hard, screaming.
Oh, yeah.
And there was this, young liberal girl San Francisco comic. And so, I mean, there's a homeless guy. He's wearing, a shirt that says the word poop. It's crazy. And he's banging on the glass. And she will not say anything. She won't go she's just that's what's fun about living in a city. And he's like, I'm
gonna fucking kill you.
I have a razor blade. Just screaming.
No, we call him 38.
Dude, no, I mean, it wasn't even
yeah.
I would have, shout out 38. I would have respected her if she had been yeah, we're comfortable with that guy. But she was clearly oh shit, but was I'll lose the crowd if I acknowledge reality. And I was like, what are you doing? Say something. And then I went up and I was a new hacky comic, and I go, give it up for my dad. And they were like, ah.
Yeah,
the crowd liked it. And I was like, it was a good lesson of
course.
You have to be, I don't know, existing in fucking reality. You can't just be I don't see that guy with a knife.
Yeah, no. That's the beauty of it.
It's all about earning trust. That's my whole thing about it is you got to go out there and you got to make them trust you. And then
no one should trust you is what we've learned from this podcast.
Hey, listen. I'm the most trustworthy guy unless I just don't know you.
Yeah, unless you're a guy with a Bible I've never met.
Yeah, then I'm going to
or a woman who's going to New York.
Yeah, then I'm going to fuck with you for sure.
Yeah.
There was this guy in the train. He had a really big scar on his arm. This huge black dude looked like Suge Knight. I mean, he's just giant, had a big Louis Vuitton bag, big chain. And I go, what happened to your arm?
God.
And Cindy was terrified.
Yeah, she's like, what's about to happen to ours?
He goes, oh, I got cut. I go, yeah, I got a bunch of stretch marks on my stomach.
Jesus.
Dude, I will say, having hung out with Kyler enough, it's so fun because you're
well, it's the world meets it at a good place. They like it.
Yeah,
they're just
nice guy. Well, he's endearing. You go I like, but it's insane. The first time we went out to get food, he just started snapping the forks at the restaurant. He goes, watch this. And he's just snapping them in half. And I'm like, I don't even know what the payoff is to this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the cool part about that, right? There's a
metal forks?
There's a cool part to this story.
Metal forks.
That's destruction of property.
So it's a magic trick that I do. Okay?
Yeah, him and She-Hulk, they fucking snap metal forks.
But what I did was they hadn't sat down yet. So I took their forks out, broke them, put them back in their containers, and put the sticker back on.
That's fun.
So when I broke my fork, I went, now, open yours. Bro, it was
That's hilarious.
It was Rand.
Yeah.
It was Rand with us.
Oh yeah, dude.
Rand freaked the fuck out, dude.
I think it was Justin. I brought you and Rand are kindred spirits in this way, where you bring them to a restaurant and you go, I hope nothing happens where
when
they can have a reaction.
Justin and Rand, we went to that place in Cincinnati.
We went to this restaurant. It's like lunch. It's like not. Rand is like the funniest dude ever. Rand, I love Rand, but we go to Cincinnati and we're ordering at this restaurant that's like pretty slow.
Yeah.
Like no reasonable expectation that we're gonna get prompt service. And within like 30 seconds, Rand is just going, full on screaming, and then I think he knocked over a water, and it's like taking his hand, and dude, like it's the first time Justin ever met him, and Justin's like, what the hell is going on?
The craziest shit I've ever seen.
And just being like, I want some service, but you and him both have that thing of like, somehow it's funny and endearing, and if I did it, someone would walk over and shoot me in the face.
It's because we look like shit. That's the secret. I'm telling you. Rand, I love you. You look like shit. It's because we look like shit. People are like, okay.
He's gonna listen to this.
Yeah, we're gonna have a swap.
You're gonna get a fucking phone call.
These are like these are just like silly, goofy guys. If Justin did it, people are like, this guy's a total fucking piece of shit asshole.
Yeah,
which
handsome.
is why Justin has to be nice.
What are you talking? He's the least nice dude of all time.
He's sweet to other people.
Listen,
he's a piece of shit to us.
He's one of my best friends in the world. But every time we've been at a store and something goes wrong, he asks the employee to give him free ice cream.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It's we were at a.
It works.
Hang with that.
It fucking works
Because
though.
he's like a hot girl where he goes, isn't the world like this? And you go, for you,
dude. If I went and said, hey, this went wrong, can I get the free ice cream? They'd be like, yeah. Fat ass.
They'd be like, is it medically required? Do we have to give it to you?
I need a doctor's note.
They'd be like, this fat guy just wants free ice cream.
No, dude. I mean, you could pull off a lot because you have like a cartoon character thing where you're like, hey, this Wario just asked me for some shit. I'm gonna let him have it, dude. This Wario guy dressed up like corn. I'm gonna let him have some ice cream.
Hey, Bill, there's a special needs guy out there with an orangutan on his shirt, and he's kind of mad, wants some ice cream. So.
I don't think we want him to get too mad, so let's just.
He's already broke 13 forks.
Hey, we got a problem. We got to give him ice cream, but we can't give him a spoon.
Yeah.
How do we?
Yeah, we saw him breaking them. We saw him snapping them with his hands. He said he's doing it with his mind. We're just gonna let him roll with it.
He said as he snapped it with his hands, I'm doing this with my mind.
Yeah.
The last 2 times I went back to ML Rose, I have not gotten forks.
Yeah.
And
It's not in the budget.
No one's ever explicitly came up to me and be like, hey, are you the guy that's fucking breaking our forks all the time?
Yeah.
But I just don't get them. Like, unless I order food, because, they usually would just have them on the table or give them to you, and that's when I'd break them.
Your picture's on the wall.
In the back.
Just be like, don't give this motherfucker a fork.
Dude, I do remember in college we had this buddy, and every time you go to his house and you'd like get food, like you would just pull out like a Longhorn Steakhouse knife.
Oh, yeah.
And then a plate that said Olive Garden. Like just like everything was just stuff he had stolen.
Straight up.
He had a full set, a kitchen set that was from different stolen restaurants.
Yeah, for sure. That was what our college looked like.
He stole all the numbers from Whataburger. And then I remember one time he was like, I got them all now. I got 1 through 40. And I go, what are you going to do with it? And it was like, he had never gotten to that part of the plan.
Like, no, I just have them.
He just kind of looked at me and was like it was
mean?
great. Yeah, I think I ruined it for him.
They used to do the show at Burning Acre.
Boy, did they.
And next door was the Wingstop.
Yeah.
I'd go into the Wingstop and I'd turn every sign upside down. All because there were magnets on the wall. So you could just turn them and flip them around.
Just a classic prankster.
Wait a second.
Just a silly little goof.
The people working at a Wingstop next to a weed store did not stop you from messing with the store?
That's what was fun. That's right. They never saw me do it.
If they had, they wouldn't have.
The game was like they turn around and I fucking flip one, and then they turn back around and like, hey, just waiting on my food. They turn back around and we'd keep flipping them.
It is fun to go anywhere with Kyler for these exact. Do you remember we went to Knoxville?
Yeah, what did I do?
Dude.
Oh, the guy.
There's like a fully blocked street. It says like this street's blocked. Kyler goes, not buying it, and just drives right down the middle of it. So we're like, basically we're about to be late for a show because Kyler refuses to believe Oh, there's a pride parade. That's what there was a pride parade. It was.
I didn't want to crease my shoes.
I didn't want to crease his shoes, which was very funny to me. I've never even considered that. So we're driving. I mean, dude, the show's in 20 minutes. We're driving all over trying to find a parking spot. He's getting real frustrated. At one point, we have to back up, and there's a guy walking his dog, and he's kind of in the way of us backing up, but not really. He's on the sidewalk, and Kyler's window's down, and he says, like, "I'll kill you and your dog," like something insane.
I said, I swear to God, I'll kill your dog.
Okay, I was way off.
Well, I didn't threaten him. I
swear to God, I'll kill your dog.
Insane.
What I expected to happen was say that, and then I was just going to drive out the other side of the parking lot.
18-point turn.
But the parking lot ended. So I'm in a.
He's full on 18-point turning after threatening this man's dog's life.
In a marked vehicle. Like my car has like my logo.
Fully wrapped.
Whoa, no shout outs. Bleep that.
Fully wrapped. We can bleep that. Fully wrapped with a phone number, and then we go to the parking garage, and what happened? Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. He called. It was like, hey, man, I don't typically do this, but one of your guys just said he was going to kill my dog.
He called?
I was like,
your company?
I was like, when that happens.
He called and your phone rang?
Yeah.
10 minutes later.
And so that's not the first time, obviously, that's happened. But there also, I get two options
crazy.
There. I can either double down. Or I can act like,
or you can go, give me that dog.
Well, no, I didn't apologize. I just was like,
you can be like, oh man,
no, dude.
I was like, did you get a description of the guy? Who? He was like, he was a fat guy with a beard, and I was like, I was like, hey, brother, let me tell you something. That is not a representation of our company. We got strong morals. We really, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I think I know who you're talking about, so let me call him, and I will did a disciplinary action for him. Once again, I'm so sorry, brother. And then like an hour later, I texted him. I was like, hey, I got that handled. Thanks for letting me know about that. He goes, no worries, man. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I hate to have to do that, but that's just uncalled for.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
So, dude, and also it was so polished. Like he truly, if I had called and heard that, I would have been like, I do feel better.
That has been taken care of.
Also,
easy.
I'm kind of with you where it's like, you're like, listen, I wasn't on a job. I didn't mess anything up. I was just yelling in traffic. I'm with you on this one.
A lady was
I'm gonna kill. I swear to God, I'll kill you.
Also, he corrected me because I didn't say that. I said I'll kill your dog.
Yeah.
I was in traffic and a lady, the way the road was set up, you get dropped off here, but I had to turn here. So I had to cross like 4 lanes to get there. And no one would let me over. Finally, there's enough space, and I start squeezing in, and this lady's honking and freaking out. And I just go and flip her off. And she calls like the truck later and goes, hey, you had a guy cut me off, and then he threatened me, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what did he look like? She goes, I think he was like black or Puerto Rican with a big beard.
Let's go.
And I was like, well, I don't have any of those that work for me, so I don't know what that was. But she just full on lied what happened and then said it was a black or Puerto Rican guy, and it was me. It was me. She had no idea.
Do you ever argue and then John Quinones gets on the phone and goes, listen, lady.
Listen,
do you ever
lady.
argue with them when they're like, you're like, what do you look like? And they're like, fat. And you're like, well, like, do you ever go like, I mean,
But I mean, like, athletic build, though.
Also,
yeah,
right?
but he's lost some weight recently, right? You can tell he's lost a little weight.
And you're on the highway. How sure can you be this guy's fat?
Yeah.
And she's like, what? What?
Fair enough.
I had a guy call, and he was like, he was real aggressive. He was like, you on interstate right now? And I was like, yep. He goes, you the one driving this truck that just tried to cut me off? And I was like, sure. And I rolled my window down, and I looked at him and said, now what? I'm on the phone with looking at him. I'm like, now what? And he goes, well, I just want to tell you that ain't nice, man, and Jesus Christ loves you, brother. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's what happened, huh?
Is that what?
Because it wasn't that nice at the beginning.
Dude, the funniest, somebody's telling me this. I used to go on the road with Dusty Slay a lot, and Dusty's the man, but Dusty drives like someone called him and was like, you have 10 hours to be here. Like, he drives crazy. And so he was driving through Atlanta. I think Aaron Weber told me the story. They're driving, they get into like some little thing, and this guy is like, pull over. And Dusty's like, oh, I'll pull over. Like, they're getting into it like that, right? And so they're going, this exit. And then the guy pulls off, and then Dusty just keeps going.
That's the best.
Yeah, that's
just goes, no,
brilliant.
that's crazy. I'm not doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, I've never done the pull over thing.
Oh, I've pulled over, gotten out the car. Fucking what happens?
Yeah.
You know? I'll match whatever energy's brought to me.
They go, oh no, this big guy dressed like corn is. We can't hurt one of them.
Getting got.
I gotta just start smacking my head.
This guy's a freak on a leash.
No, but like that's the whole thing with anything in life. It's like I just match the energy that's brought to me. You know, it's like I could be really cool and nice, but then like if someone wants to be mean on the road, it's like, all right, like let's fucking we can pull over and we can get off and get at this gas station.
I'm not much of a road rage guy.
I've seen it. We've hung out enough. Kyler will. There was like some crazy thing in Knoxville. You walked by some guy. He was like, "What's up?" You're like, "What's up?" And like, but like he was the one who started it.
Oh yeah, that was that guy was very aggressive
Kyler
for whatever reason.
Came way over the top. This guy follows us. He gets a friend. These two black guys. They follow us, and was it 3?
Yep,
3 black guys. It's me, him, and some other comic.
Pretty formidable group of comedians as far as comics go.
Yeah. I'm relatively tall. He's dressed like corn and huge. You know, we had a thing. So, but like, you know, I'm kind of like, I don't really know what's going on here. And then I'm like trying to de-escalate, and Kyler's just like, "What's up?" Like just met him, and then I don't know, there was some like high frequency signal I couldn't hear that they both could hear that like they just resolved it in 2 seconds. It was crazy.
Because that's why I meet people with that, right? Because what happened, we walked by the guy and he's staring at us, and people look because I am like when I walk by, it's like, oh, this fucking giant billboard with an animal shirt on that just walked by me.
Yeah. And he was with his girl.
Yeah, and he went, "Oh, what?" He went, "What's up?" And I was like, "You're looking at me. What's up?" That's it.
Yeah.
And kept walking. And, you know, he's like, "You don't know me, Mama." I said, "I don't need to." And we keep walking. He busts the corner and comes up behind us. And I just met the energy. I'm like, I literally said, "You followed us here. We're right here, right now. What do you want to do?"
It's
and
so
Connor's
fun,
sitting
dude.
there like, fuck.
Dude, I literally was like, what? Like, I was just like so puzzled. I was like, what are we doing?
His boys were confused because they, you know, when you're like, if your friend's like, "Yo, come on, man, let's go get this handled."
Yeah.
You're gonna be, you know, you're gonna support your friend.
It was about to be me fighting another guy who was also confused. It was about to be Kyler fighting that guy, and then me and another guy being like, why are we fighting?
I just left it all up to him. I gave him I gave him the balls in his court. It's like, what do you want to do now? He's like, well, I'm just, you know, trying to say. It's like, well, you walked this far to say
what
something.
Are you saying?
It was like this hyper masculine thing that was actually like very like young girl. Like, you looked at me weird. Like I was like, what the? How old is everyone involved in this?
Though.
It was great.
Handled it.
He did.
Bro, listen, brother. I'll keep you guys safe.
Dude, I will say when I was like first bringing Kyler and Justin on the road, it is nice to be like, hey man, if something happens, these guys aren't just gonna like melt down and tweet about it or something.
Yeah.
Like they will actually be like, oh yeah.
Twitter's only for porn, bro.
Couple young.
That's all it's for, man.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I like that at the end of all these
episodes.
episodes, Kyler's been wrapping it up with like a deep philosophical. I mean, granted, I don't know. A lot of it sounds pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But he'll be like, life's about energy, and you gotta put a crystal behind your knee and then lick it later. I was like, whatever. But it is a nice like thing.
Bow on the.
Do we want to do what do we think Kyler doesn't? We should wrap up with what do we think Kyler doesn't know that maybe he discovered.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Or like, what do we think? What did we listen to this weekend that he might not know? We listened to a million songs.
Oh yeah. Do you know? Nah, you probably know some Creedence Clearwater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not the Eagles, but Creedence Clearwater.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
We did. God, we.
I
listened
sent
to
you
some
guys
songs.
a banger song.
Yeah, you
over the
did.
weekend.
You sent us Ophelia by the band?
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, that's a banger. That's a banger. I'm trying to think we didn't really do anything this weekend that would be easy for him. He definitely knows about beer halls.
He knows about Nelly.
Yeah, he definitely knows about Nelly.
Yeah, see, I'm not that, you know.
We're not saying you're dumb. We're just saying you're young and that you
Pretty well cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't that bad. I just don't know like stupid shit. Like you know, the Eagles. Now I do.
Anything I don't know is stupid.
Yeah. Amen to that.
That
dude.
is the truth.
Keep
Until
that
I
energy.
know it.
Keep that energy.
And then I appreciate it.
I like that. All right, should we call it here, boys? I know you guys got to go.
Let's call it, man. No, this is another one in the
Another
books.
banger. Thanks, everybody. We did get some patrons. That was sweet.
Yeah, thanks for signing up, man.
Thanks to all the mic sniffers out there. Yeah, find the Patreon. Everything's on. The BoyStormPod is on YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, all that stuff. You
FetLife.
The important one.
Also, check out BoyStorm at FetLife.com.